So in 2018, the first major phone that people were talking about was the Samsung S9. It is a gorgeous, beautiful looking phone, very powerful, but kind of underwhelming because it looks like an S8. But today, everyone is talking about a different phone. And, well, it's actually a couple of phones. Huawei have released the P20 Lite, the P20, and the P20 Pro. And in my opinion, these are very, very good looking phones. So quickly, let's talk about price. The P20 Lite, this is UK, pounds obviously, £329, £599 for the P20, £849 for the P20 Pro. But you do get a lot for your money, I will talk about this soon. Obviously I haven't tested the phones, I'm just going by what the website says. But as far as how much these cost, this one is saying, okay, if I go in order again, I'll put this in order. €370 for the P20 Lite, $680 for the P20, and $900 for the P20 Pro. So it will change depending what area you're in. So, what's so good about these phones? Let's look at the design, and I'll mainly be focusing on the P20 Pro and the P20 and the P20, not the Lite. The Lite's more of a mid-range phone. So this is the P20 Pro. And first thing, well, there's a few things to notice here. First thing I noticed is that there's 3 cameras on the back. 3 cameras. The next thing I noticed was there's a notch. Now, a lot of people don't like notches. They don't like the iPhone X and all that with the notch. But this notch is quite a big bit smaller. In fact, Huawei have actually been using this in their advertising campaigns. They've been talking about how the iPhone notch is huge. But at the end of the day, if you don't like the notch, you might not like this because of that. But it doesn't look too bad in my opinion. I've not used it day to day to compare it to a regular phone that, you know, has the full rectangle. But as far as notches go, it seems pretty small. But I think this is a great looking phone, and you know, the P20 looks fantastic as well. This one has dual cameras, still pretty impressive. And the P20 Lite is obviously more of a mid-range phone. So I was going to I'll link to all these the GSM Arrena Specs pages, and you can get a better comparison of what these do, because obviously in the one video it's hard to go through them all. But very quick rundown, I'll just use what they've got at the top here. 5.84 inch screen, 1080 by 2280 pixels, 60 megapixel rear camera, 4GB RAM, 3000 mAh battery, and you can see here Android 8.0, 64 or 128GB storage, micro SD slot, 145 grams, 7.4 millimeters thickness. I don't believe any of them have got a headphone jack, which is disappointing, but can't have everything. They're all Type-C. So on to the P20, more expensive. Oh, sorry, I didn't talk about the CPU. The CPU in this one is the high silicon Kirin 659 octa-core. So, okay, onto this one. These ones actually have Android 8.1 instead of 8.0. 5.8 inch screen, 1080 by 2244 pixels, 20 megapixel camera in the back, 4GB RAM, 3400 mAh battery. Now, I say 20 megapixel in the back, but if you look, this is the Lite. So if I go look at the cameras, it's got a 60 megapixel and a 2 megapixel in the back. And this one, just the P20 has a 12 megapixel and a 20 megapixel camera. Now, CPU wise, it's got the Kirin 970, it's an octa-core. Android 8.1, 128GB storage. Quite a lot of storage here. Similar specs here with Android 8.1, 128GB storage and the micro SD card. Same processor as well, the octa-core 970. But you can see it's a bigger phone, 6.1 inch display. Same resolution though, you can see that. A 40 megapixel camera, I'll talk about it in a second. 6GB of RAM and a 4000 milliamp battery. Good to see bigger batteries being put in place. No one likes small batteries. So, where the other one has a double camera, you know, a dual camera, the Pro version has 40 megapixels, f1.8, 20 megapixels, f1.6, and 8 megapixels f2.4, so it's kind of like the telescopic lens and the, the smaller lens. The secondary camera on the Pro and the other one and the regular one is a 24 megapixel f2.0. You can see it there, and on the Lite, 16 megapixel. So across the board, I know I've went kind of back to front here with the specs here, but across the board, specs are very, very good. Now, I came across this article from Wired and it had a comparison, so this is maybe a little bit better to show you the difference between the P20 and the P20 Pro, because I think these are the ones that most people will be looking at flagship wise. And you can see it's got the larger 6.1 inch instead of 5.8. Then there's the camera difference we saw there, 24 megapixel and 12. Wait, in fact, where have I got this already? Okay, they've done this back to front. So the front camera's 24 on both, so it's the same selfie camera, front camera, whatever you want to call it. On the back of the P20, you've got 12 and 20. On the back of the Pro, you've got 40, 20 and 8. Same storage. The Pro gets 6GB of RAM. There's the dimensions there. A little bit heavier, more battery. I mean, I need to look into these in more detail, but the reviews that I've seen so far are very, 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 very positive. People are talking about how good the cameras are as well, so that's really good to see, and it's not surprising when you see that Leica, I call it Leica, I don't know if it's Leica, that's how I pronounce it, that they've got involved in the development of it all, so it's pretty good. See power volume rockers there. So this is the regular P20. And, a lot of the features are going to be the same between them. And you may notice that as well. Where is it? There's actually a pre-offer. Now, this is a really good offer. If you pre-order by the 5th of April, you'll get the QC35s. And these are fantastic wireless headphones. These are the Bose ones that everyone uses when they go travelling, because it cuts out all the noise. Where I took... In fact, there it's there. So these are the kind of popular noise cancellation ones that a lot of people use. It's if you were looking at maybe getting these earphones at one point anyway, it does bring the price down a little bit. So that's a pretty good deal. But as far as the camera and all that goes, this triple camera, this is really, really attractive to me. I need to look at more samples. I looked at a quick video sample and a quick gallery of photos, but I really need to spend some time looking at it, see what the quality of the mic and all that is. But for me, I quite like the Samsung S9. I think it's a really good phone, but it really wasn't doing much to entice me in. This phone is definitely setting themselves ahead of the curve, in my opinion. This looks like a better phone than the Samsung S9, just from a camera point of view anyway, for me. But I'll need to look at the samples more, but I think Huawei have really made a big statement with this phone. So I'm going to check out the reviews more. I'm going to look into it more in depth, but if for the benefit of those of you who didn't catch any of the news about this today, hopefully you guys will have enjoyed this video. But I think this is a fantastic looking phone. As far as making rectangular phones go, a lot of people don't like the notch, but you can see it here. I don't know, I don't think it's that bad. I could be wrong, maybe using it on a daily basis I'd have a different opinion, but yeah, triple battery, I must admit that's very attractive to me as a YouTuber, as someone who wants to produce videos. And as far as videos go, I was looking at the GSM Arena, and it's got 30 frames per second, 4K, 1080, 720, 960 frames per second. But all these things as far as there it's there, no headphone jack. All these things as far as active noise cancellation with dedicated mic and all that, you can't really tell with the specs. Even with a triple camera, sometimes, I don't know what I clicked on there, sometimes specifications don't always paint the full picture. You really need to look at how they integrate everything with software. So I'm going to spend some time and look at some more video reviews and all that kind of thing. But from a design point of view and from a specs point of view, they really have hit the mark here. I think they've really did enough to distinguish themselves from the competition. I think they've produced something pretty good. And I like the fact, a lot of people don't like the fact when they've offered a different version because they don't know which one to buy, but I like the fact they've offered a kind of mid-range and two different flagship ones. So, that's showing the That's showing the fantastic offer there. So I'm going to look into this more detail. Sorry, going to look at how the photos compare between the Pro and the regular version, and compare how the videos and that compare. But I think Huawei have produced something pretty interesting here. It's definitely got my attention, and the reviews so far seem very positive. So I'll leave a link to all the pages that were mentioned in this video. Check them out, look at the specs yourself, and let me know what you think, guys. Leave a comment down below. As you know, the video is only half of the discussion in this. A lot of the best discussion comes down in the comment area from you guys, so please do leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think about this, and until next time, take care.